Only a few short weeks ago, the garden was looking well. It was lush, green, abundant. The cut flowers were giving. And I just wanted to share how quickly it can turn depending on the weather. August here in Ireland, especially where I am on the east coast, it was just really dry. I'm not going to complain because we did have some nice sunny weather the past 2-3 weeks, but there was very little rain, and you can see the garden has started to fade. Also, I went on holidays for a week, and all I did in the month of August was cut the grass and some deadheading. But you know when you come back with a fresh set of eyes and you can see where things are just struggling. I'm going to give you a realistic tour of what the garden is looking like so we can try and get it back in shape in September. Okay, realistic garden tour incoming. And excuse my language, but it's gone to shite. We can fix this, but it's just August was dry, which you can see from this poor apple tree, and also you see that the self-seeded nasturtiums and teasels, self-seeded, they are dehydrated. So there wasn't a lot of, so I was away for a week and it was very dry that week and I thought everything would be grand. So a lot of this stuff, this was looking beautiful, like all the way up to this point. A lot of deadheading needs to be done. Awful lot of deadheading. Dahlia is struggling in here, but there is some new growth at the base. These have all gone to seed. Allium spherocephalon. Adore these. Absolutely adore them. I'm going to cut all these back and I'm going to keep these as dried flowers. Beautiful. Sweet peas have gone to seed. I'm going to cut these right back and maybe we might get another flush on them. The campanula, I'm very surprised there's actually still a bit of flower on that. Rudbeckia has come up. And then the dahlias I planted, this is just looking absolutely miserable. And just a fail. A fail. Let's go down here. Dahlias and pots, see anything that's in a pot is just absolutely dehydrated. Corner of doom. Fail. Please go back to my July video, my last one, because it was looking good. And then pots are not too bad. The dahlias, because they need a drink and a feed, they look yellow. The osteospermums that I got in the bargain bin have started to flower. That's a win. And there's a little bumblebee on it. Yeah. Just looking a bit tired. Those hydrangeas are giving it a bit of colour. Over here we have Miss Buggy. Chase doing her. I haven't actually cut the grass in about 10 days, but because it was so dry, there's not a lot of growth bug, isn't that right? You can see all the bird baths are dried out. The pond is in there. Didn't do anything with that this year. Yeah, did absolutely nothing. This geranium is not doing as well as last year, but as you can see, full of bees. Full of bees. We love to see. There is some water in here because it's so overgrown that the moisture is stayed in it. All of this rose was looking beautiful a month ago. Now there will be nice rose hips on this, but I do need to cut this back. I also need to cut this back. I think it's a type of lilac. I had to cut it back last year. So this just grew a lot in the last month, so I'll cut this back. But Bug loves this, and this is her spot. It's her shady spot, so I leave that. Another fail over here. I've been thinking about the pots, and I'm going to get rid of a lot of pots. This hydrangea was stunning last year. Actually, there's a lovely little butterfly there. Don't know if you can see. So, oh, gone. This was beautiful last year. Dropped the ball on it. Let it get dry. Didn't feed it. Fail. But that is a stunning, if you look back at last year's videos, that was great. What else here? So this Oh, my olive tree looks half dead. This will have to be cleared soon because renovations. But it's not too messy, but a rejig. This just has to come out, and these chairs, I'll just have to pop them down here just while the renovation is happening. So what I'm going to do back here is, if I cut the grass, deadhead and tidy up all the cut flowers. Oh, also, did you see my one little tomato? Look how cute that is. Oh, it has a split. I do remember Monty John saying something about the split on the tomato. So that's the back. The front is just as bad. No, we can have a little look at the front. So I just need to get a little control on it. Also, ivy is, I've been waiting until September to get someone to trim the tree because I wanted to wait for nesting season to like officially finish up. The ivy is in flower, and I did see loads of bees in the park foraging it, so I'm not going to cut that. I might trim the bottom, but while it's in flower and the honeybees want it, I'm not going to cut it because it's their last like forage before winter. The laneway of doom, this all has to be cleared very soon because renovations, self-seeded, so this is the access to get into the back for the builders, so I need to just clear all this. But we love a good before and after cleaning, don't we? Yes, we do. So right at the door, it obviously doesn't look as good as what it did back in like spring and into summer. The geraniums have finished flowering. I don't think I gave them a Chelsea chop quick enough. The perennials need a drink. There is rain due tonight and for the rest of the week, thank God. But yeah, some plants are struggling here, and I want to show you another fail. So if you remember last year, I planted a load of kind of like late summer, autumn plants. Planted a lot of these, but this season, unfortunately, it was just too dry. I need to cut back this climber, and I think I need to treat this as like a dry, like the past 2 summers, like the summers are getting drier, and this area got more sun because of the trees being trimmed. So with that combination, things are struggling here. They're not getting enough rain. And I want to have plants that can tolerate, like I don't want a watering system. I want to have plants that will tolerate a little bit of a drought. So as you can see, anemones usually do great in a garden, but they are struggling. They're struggling, and it's down to not getting enough water. So yeah, that's not looking too fresh, but it did look fresh a couple of weeks ago. As you can see, the grass here, there is no grass to cut here. It's amazing what like a few dry, like at the past 3 weeks have been quite dry, but this was lush. Lush like the back, but this is my driest spot, and if the grass is dry like that, those beds are dry like that, so the roses can tolerate a bit of a drought. So we got another flower on the roses there. So poor hydrangea Annabelle, she's not looking dreadful considering her circumstances, but this whole thing just looks so tired. So not looking as good as it once did. You can see more dead self-seeders here. I also have self-seeded borage, and that's struggling, and this just looks so nasty. So these pots need to be emptied, put out the back. I need to clear this anyway. I need this whole walkway clear for the builders, and then this will finally go as well. My brother is a mechanic, so he knows where I can recycle the tires. So yeah, that's another area that's not great. Now the meadow has been a win for nature, but it's just gone a bit wildy, but you can see all that lovely wild carrot. So I'm going to just give it a trim, and then when I cut the grass, you can see there's more moisture over here because the grass is more green. This area of the garden has more moisture, so we have a bit more colour. I'm always trying to deadhead these, but they're always in flower. And then some Aquilegia, self-seeded. Looks shy, but I can cut it back. This was looking beautiful a month ago, but it's humming with bees. I don't know if you can pick up, there's loads of hummingbirds and not hummingbirds, hoverflies and bees. Looking good. This was looking great before I went on holidays, but it's just needs a deadhead. This thing here behind it, the pink one, has loads of bees on it. Got that in June Blake's garden last year. Lovely. We have lots of wild carrot seed as well. Roses just need to be deadheaded. Oh, loads of bees on this. Look at the honeybees. Love to see it. Achillea was looking good. Needs a little deadhead. A win here is the erigeron. The hydrangea. Not a win. I did actually, let me zoom in. I was watering that hydrangea. I gave it extra attention, but it looks like it's lost its seed heads. Looks knackered. It looks how I feel, but the erigeron looks good. Verbascum, penstemon, all looks tired. Needs a trim. Now this thing here, can't remember what it is. See this? Looks like a cow parsley, but it flowers late summer. That is doing well, and if you look closely, you'll see a self-seeded foxglove in the middle. So not too bad. That's my neighbour's magnolia, and we have sun in the sky, so not dreadful. So then in the barrels, remember I planted that back in, I think, March? That's doing great. That's for me filler for cut flowers. Hydrangea, look at this. Absolutely knackered. Knackered. Same thing. Didn't feed it. She barely got a drink. Looks shocking. Shocking. Lavender in pots. Smells good, but looks shite. And the curry plant was a win. This is my little herb box, but just needs to be deadheaded now. Or actually, the seed heads look nice on it, and they smell lovely. Let a little collect the seed on it, and then let me see. I need to zoom back out. These barrels are not dreadful, but as you can see, this one needs a drink. So I'm going to give that. I'm going to have a water, give everything a water, and then there'll be rain tonight. So that'll. Oh, I don't know if you saw that cat run past. Not my cat. And little bonus. Look what my neighbour gave me. A tree was getting cut down, so I'm going to bring this out the back and do something with it. But that is a fine lump of wood. Lovely log. So I've got to move that. Actually, it's probably heavy. I might need to get help. So yeah. So the garden looks exactly how I feel. Dehydrated, tired, gone to seed. You'll have to excuse me, I'm having a no makeup, just garden day, get in, get stuck in. I'm going to do just potter doing jobs, because to be honest, when it gets like this, I feel overwhelmed. So I'm just going to accept that sometimes things go shite in September after summer. We're all tired. I'm just going to do what I can and make it look as tidy as I can today. Now time could be up for my sweet peas, because usually you have to keep on top of the cutting back and not let them go to seed, so they will keep on flowering. But I actually have nothing else to go in here. No Brussels sprouts for Christmas going in this box. So let's see if I can get another month out of them. Let's just see. I'm actually just going to hack them right back. I'm going to hang on to some of the seeds as well and let them dry out so I can keep them from next year. Also, these are the sweet peas from Lidl. I think they were either 49 cents a packet or maybe €1 a packet, but they are budget blooms. So if you are wondering, I did sow them initially back in March. I pinched them out. Then I put them in the ground in May, and they've been really good. I had a good year on sweet peas. Sometimes it's hit and miss. We had a lot of rain in May, so I think that helped the seedlings just establish and settle in. And I think that might be the trick to getting good sweet peas, is making sure that when they're settling in and you first plant them out, you give them lots of water, because last year I didn't, and I had a woeful year for sweet peas last year. So I don't know, sometimes Mother Nature just helps me and I can't take credit for it. I'd love to know, how are you getting on with your garden? I know just from comments on recent garden videos that a lot of you guys are struggling as well when it comes to heat, drought. Obviously, if you're on the other side of the world, you are in, am I right in saying springtime? So hopefully it is a lot cooler and you have a bit of rain. So definitely this year, I think if you're in the UK and Ireland, it's very dry. I know it has been drier. Just from chatting to Ewan, Mr. Carrington, over in London, he has had really kind of hot and dry temperatures. So hasn't been as bad over here in Ireland, but I can definitely see it stressing out the garden. And it always makes me wonder, if this is what it's going to be like going forward, what kind of plants do I want to pick, or how do I want to change and adapt my kind of gardening style? I obviously love the cottage garden, whimsical, loads of cut flowers, but will I have to tweak that and grow things differently? Another thing I'm gonna have to do is, and I dropped the ball on it this year, is I should have fed the plants more. And you don't have to go around like every week. Obviously in Gardener's World, Monty Don goes around with his liquid seaweed and feeds his pots, but realistically I know a lot of us, don't have the time to do that. But I do mulch the soil, and ideally that mulch breaks down and conditions the soil, but you need a good feed. And I remember when I was on the radio earlier this year with Mary Staunton, now I cannot remember the name, but she did recommend these like granules that you sprinkle over the ground, and you only have to do it every 6 months, and as it rains they release whatever into the soil. Now I cannot for the life of me remember the name of that, but I'm going to keep my eye out for something like that for next year. Also, just a random one, if you see a random cat in this week's video, one of my neighbours got a new cat. Her name is Cleo. She's very friendly, and just like every other cat on my road, it just visits. And also Bon is around. He's just not in today's video because he was asleep in the basket upstairs. So just in case you were wondering, I did not get a new cat, but my neighbour did. The wind has picked up a bit, so I hope my mic will keep this audio clear, but I'm really excited. I'm excited because we are going all the way to Brooklyn. Yes, New York. We are visiting one of your gardens, and we are visiting Carly's. Oh my god, the view. Her garden is stunning. We have a lovely balcony garden. You'll see now, but there's lots of herbs. She got some snapdragons up there. She even has a rose. So I'm gonna stop talking. Let's go visit Carly's garden all the way in Brooklyn, New York. And a big thank you to Carly for sending in her video.
Hello everyone, welcome to my Brooklyn patio garden. I am in zone 7B and my name is Carly. My patio consists of a lot of pots and not much walking space. If we start over here by my noisy AC unit, we have my verbena, a variegated basil. I've forgotten what this plant is, but I bought it a long time ago. It's just a leafy green. Some bee balm back there. My trusty petunia pig. Then I've got some zinnia seeds and some other seeds going, just to see if I can get them to sprout to get them to flower before the fall comes. Some angelonia, some pentas that have to rebloom, and some floss flower. I've got these chocolate cosmos, and some vinca and geraniums, and some regular cosmos, some white ones, which I did have some bugs on recently, which is why they don't look so great, but they're getting better. New York City bugs are pretty bad. Then I have my tomato plant back here, set up with this little birdie trellis. It's kind of going all over the place, and I've got a rose bush back here. Up here I've got kind of an assortment of herbs and edible flowers. My snapdragons have just rebloomed. I've got some lavender, basil, oregano. This is a hot banana pepper. I'm getting lots of blooms because it's been very hot here and peppers like the heat. Another variety of basil. And then over here, I've got zinnias, more geraniums, salvia, and some more greens, more pentas, and more angelonia. Basically all things that are good for the heat are what I try to strive for. More pentas and some more herbs, calendula, more snaps, and then moving over here, which this is the view this side of the garden. And then I have my table, which doesn't get much space to sit in at this time of year, but I've got some more salvia and zinnias, and this is a flowering, I believe it is some sort of succulent, but it does well in the heat. Marigolds, lots of lantana. This one's about to bloom really great again, and lots of zinnias. Over here, I've got this insane tower full of pretty much anything that I can get to grow in it. Lots of petunias. These chives I started in the spring and they're still growing. Some mint. This was just a grocery store mint that I planted, and it's not doing the best, but it's doing pretty well for a grocery store mint. More lantana. My thyme has kind of gone crazy, and underneath it is some Spanish lavender, some euphorbia, and more salvia, more oregano, more geraniums, and then over here I've got some asters, which will be having their moment very soon, and this big leafy geranium that doesn't flower, it just produces some really pretty greens. Lots of catnip for my cat, which you see through there. There's more growing right there. Lots of stuff hanging out the sides. Not much room, so it kind of takes over. And then I've got a hellebore, which is my favorite for the spring. It's one of the first things to bloom. And some more herbs. And this is it at almost sunset, pretty much golden hour. It looks quite nice. It's nice and secluded and gives me a bit of privacy for my neighbors, which is nice. And got a coleus and some marigolds and begonias. Pretty much a whole wide array of things out here, just smushed in, trying to make as much space as possible.
So how lovely was that? I feel like when I get a garden video sent in, it's like I've gone on a little holiday. I love it. If you want to send in a video, I'll pop a card here. It is at the moment only for members, but I'll pop a link to the video that has the instructions inside the video on how you can send in a clip of your garden to be featured on the channel. And please do show Carly some love in the comments section. Her garden is absolutely stunning, and I loved our little trip over the pond to have a look at it. And it looks so luscious and healthy. I'm going to cut the grass now, and I'm going to hope that it just makes it look a little bit tidier. And the grey clouds are coming. I've never been so happy to see rain coming. So Miss Bug is not happy that I cut her tall grass and her little shelter. That will grow back quick for her, but she was using it for, what were you using it for? Chasing things she shouldn't be chasing. So I cut back the high grass because, to be honest, it was just looking messy now. And I saw that Monty Don had cut back his. In fairness, it's not as wild meadowy like the one in the front. I'm gonna ask for help because as I've just been going around the garden, I'm like, that needs to go, that needs to go. These random pots of weeds. I know earlier in summer, I think it was around about May, I did a lot of kind of clearing out in the messy corners. But there's no way I'm going to get all of this done by myself before like the renovations begin. And my house is going to be upside down, and I'd like if my garden could be a little escape. Just not be as messy. So I'm going to text my brothers and I'm going to offer a bribe. I'm going to offer a bribe. You know, in fairness, behind me doesn't look too bad, but it's just all the bits everywhere in the front and random pots, and yeah. I'll see you in the next one. There's going to be big cleanups coming. Because I'm like, the leaves are going to be coming soon. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but come like what, October? Well, mid-October. I want to get on top of it before all the leaves come. You know? Also, apologies, it looks like I'm naked. I'm wearing this romper because all my washing from my holidays is on rotation. Great drying weather today with the wind and the sun. So I'm wearing my holiday wardrobe today. So apologies for looking like this. But this is what you end up looking like sometimes in the garden, isn't it? In a random romper with your Crocs. Anyway, see you in the next one, and don't forget, if you want to submit a garden video, I'll pop a card in the description and on here as well, where you can check out that video with all the details on how to send one in.